Hi, this is Scott Schrader, and this week's Parashah is Lekh Lekha. It's from Genesis, starts at Genesis 6:9, and that's the scripture we're going to be looking at today. A little bit more than that, actually, but we're gonna start from that point. The root of the word lecha is halak, which means to walk, and so we've seen previously now in the previous parashahs, the beginning of the Torah, how Adam and Eve they walked with God in the cool of the evening. So we get kind of a glimpse of what that means. And then we see Enoch walked with God, he was taken. And Noah walked with God and he was spared. But in Abraham, we see some of the actual process of walking with God. This is something that we're all concerned with in our lives when we become believers, is how do we walk with God? And so we see a little bit of that process here in this parashah and with Abraham himself. Now, what we see up here is God told Abraham to leave, and the word walk, or it says walk you, literally, walk you. He says it twice, so he's being somewhat emphatic. And we see what's called a chiasm here. He tells him to leave his country, and then he tells him to leave his kindred and to leave his father's house and to go to another land. And then he tells him the things that he's going to do if he does that. And first of all, he leaves his country, he's going to make him a great nation. So he leaves his country, he makes him a great nation. He leaves his kindred, he's going to bless him. Normally you would get that blessing that would come down from your kindred, but he's going to get that from God himself as he leaves. He's going to leave his father's house and he's going to make a name for him. So normally you had your father's name in Jewish lore. Abraham's father was an idol maker. And Abraham kind of confronted him and went against what he had said. So he had a name, if that's true, he had a name that he didn't want and God didn't want him to have. So he was going to give him a different name, a new name, the father of many, the father of a nation. And it says, if you go to the land, he told him to go to the land, and here we have, he's gonna be a blessing. So now, if he goes to the land, he's going to be a blessing, and Abraham has been a blessing to the whole earth. He's one of the most well-known figures in all the history of the world. This man who just left and followed God back in ancient times has become one of the most famous people in the history of the world. And, the three largest religions, or three of the largest religions, all have him as their head, their father. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam all consider Abraham to be the father of their faith, to be the father of everything that started. So Abraham, he has been a blessing to the earth in many ways, and we can go over that. But one of the main ways is through him came the Messiah, and the Messiah is going to come back. Through him came redemption. He's the father of those of the faith. And so what a blessing. There's no more greater blessing than that, perhaps. He told Abraham to do this, to leave when he was 75 years old, and to go where he showed him. So Abraham, in our walk with God, God doesn't exactly tell us everything. As we're obedient to him, he reveals more to us. And that's how it happened with Abraham. He told him to go. And as he went, and when he came to the land of Canaan, as God somehow directed him to do that, God appeared to him and told him he was going to bless him and be with him. And those that would bless him, out of the blessing that they blessed him with, he would bless them. And those that took him lightly, literally in Hebrew, out of that taking lightly, he would curse them. So God mightily put power and presence and authority on Abraham. And we see Abraham going, and even when he was maybe construed as being wrong, and telling the Egyptians that his wife was his sister, which was a half-truth because she was his half-sister. But he told him that, and the man was going to get killed for touching his wife because he was a prophet, because of this blessing that was on Abraham. Even though Abraham didn't tell him all the truth, God still was going to honor that promise that he gave him, but he warned this person not to do it, and so save the person. So we see the mightiness, how God appeared to him and what he did to him and with him as he began to obey God. And as we begin to obey God in our lives, we begin to walk out what he's shown us. We may not know where we're going. I'm not sure that Abraham knew he was going to Canaan or Canaan. He just went where God showed him to go, and then God appeared to him and told him more. We see Joseph, Jesus' father, told to go to Egypt until I tell you to come back, and then he came to him and told him to come back. So, and there was blessing in that. Of course, he had saved their lives and the lives of Yeshua. It saved his life as well. So, the lives of his family. So, as we do that, as we begin to walk, there's a process. As we follow what he's shown us now, he will show us more. He will reveal more. He will bless us as he did with him. And we see in this word walk, which is halak, in the meaning. It's a hey is the first letter, which actually means revelation or to behold. And so a revelation comes, and we see this the shepherding. The shepherd's staff, which means to control the flow or to shepherd or to control this guidance. And then we also see in the third letter to impart or bless. And these are the three elements that we see that happen with Abraham and with us as we walk with God. As we walk with him, he will reveal more to us. He will reveal to us where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, and the timing that he chooses. He's the one that needs to control the flow. He's the shepherd of our walk. The central axis is that letter, and he's the shepherd of our walk. He's the one that controls our walk if we allow him, or someone else does. So we want to allow him to do that rather than doing it ourselves. We don't have the power to really bless ourselves as he has power to bless us. So as we allow him to lead us, we behold, he reveals more to us, and he imparts to us. He blesses. This is the palm of the hand, the blessing, the impartation. He imparts to us. He makes us like himself. He does a work in us. And so I encourage you today to get in tune with the Lord. Get in step with him. Seek to do that. Endeavor to do that. Spend time with him. Tell him you want to do that. And allow him to guide you on your walk so that he might bless you and so that he might reveal himself and who you are to you in a more full way.